Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So as you can tell by the title, I got quite a few things from work, and in this video I'm going to be going over what I got. So to start off, I'm just going to tell you what's in this kind of pile here. So you can see in the corner we have two 20-inch iMacs. Next to those we have a workstation slash gaming computer of some sort, given that it was from the company I work at, probably a workstation, not a gaming computer. Above that we have two network switches, and then under that we have a PowerMac G5. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about the network switches first. So here you can see I got two more GS724T Netgear switches. These are smart switches. And the reason I bought two more, well, not bought, actually I got them for free, of course. Don't even know why I said bought there, because that's totally not what I was supposed to say. But anyway, the reason I got two more of these is because this bottom one is a V2, and then I also just figured I could get one for parts, and because my other one is kind of weird, I'm going to use that one for parts, and this one for the other switch, because I presume I'm probably going to need two switches given my teaming setup for the servers and all that, so it wouldn't hurt to have another one, and I do have a third one that I should explain. I mean, why not? It's a third network switch. There's really not a lot to say about these, so I will move on to the iMacs now. So here you can see we have one of the 20-inch iMacs, and I'm just going to sneakily remove this sticker up here, this label I put on it. But this is a 20-inch iMac, and I'm just going to turn it on here. So this iMac, the story behind this is we were recycling, actually the story behind everything, first of all, is we were recycling all of this, and they said I could take home some of the stuff if I wanted to. And also we were going to see if we could get Chrome OS or Cloud Ready, I think it is. It's like a Chrome OS kind of thing for not Chrome devices, and so we were going to see if we could get those on the iMacs, and the 20-inch I have down there and this one both would not support Cloud Ready. This one wouldn't support it because, actually, I'll save that for a bit. But the other one wouldn't support it because it's a Core Duo model, so it's not the 5,2 17-inch model that Cloud Ready supports. So I should go ahead and just cut across the shot here and plug in some devices here because it's kind of important that I do. Anyway, just gonna kind of get the mouse here, and so yeah, while we wait for the system, and it just did come up, we can go into Apple menu and About This Mac, and hit Control. Yep, and you can see we do indeed have that happened in the previous take of this video too. Yeah, there we go. You can see we do indeed have a 2.1 gigahertz PowerPC G5. This is a 20-inch G5 iMac with 2.5 gigs of DDR2 RAM. So that's pretty cool. If we go into more info, and I'm going to make a more in-depth video about this, it has a, it's kind of a pain. Gonna quit there, quit. So if we go into System Profiler here, you can see if we go into Graphics and Displays, it has a X600 XT. So the highest end video card you can put in a G4, apparently, according to It's My Natural Color, is an X800 XT, and that's what I'm going to put in the G5. Cough, cough. Shouldn't tell you about that, cough. But the X600 XT is still a pretty decent card, considering, I mean, by today's standard, it's pretty terrible, but back in the day, I'm sure it was really nice. And so, 1680 by 1050 display, same as the other 20-inch, the Intel models. So this is the second of the two iMacs here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And so, like I said, this is a 20-inch Core Duo model with 2 gigs of RAM, and I forgot what the hard drive size is, but you can see there's no operating system on here. I think it had 10, I want to say 10.6 installed, maybe 10.7, I think 10.6 though. And what we did was we booted into Tiger and we erased the drive because I was supposed to erase the drive on this one. And so that's why there's no operating system on here. But like I said, Core Duo 2 GHz. That's really all the specs you need to know about this. And so my plan for this one is my other 20-inch, the one I used to use, and the reason I stopped using it is because the RAM, one of the RAM slots died, so I could only put 2 gigs of DDR2 in. What I'm going to do with this is put my 2.33 gigahertz Core 2 Duo in here, and it'll take 4 gigs of RAM and all just fine. And so I'm just going to upgrade it, make it a better system. And I mean, I could put the Core Duo in the other iMac and run it on 2 gigs of RAM. That's totally fine too. So not really anything else to say on this one. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off and unplug it. So you may be able to see me in the reflection of the side panel window, but you can see here we have some kind of computer, and it's in a Maxx Dirk Tooth Smilodon Extreme Black, I think is the case name. And the reason I found this and picked it out, and I'm glad I did, is I recognized the back of the case, and the Maxx case is the first case I actually really liked. That was back in like 4th grade when I first got into PC building. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up here, and we're going to take a look. So you can see we have the fans, which the wires have been cut on all of them for some reason, other than the stock cooler back there. And yeah, so it has a 500 watt power supply and a P55HA board. And so I looked up P55HA, and it's a socket 1156 board. Then I took the RAM out. It has 8 gigs of DDR3, so that's going to come in handy until I get more DDR3. And the processor is an, I think, what is the processor? An i7 860, I think. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a quad core at 2.8, so it's pretty much on par with my Mac Pro server's processor, except a generation newer, I believe, because the Mac Pro server has a 1366 in it. So yeah, 2 optical drives, 500 gig WD green, and like I said, we will be doing a separate video on this where I kind of go more in depth. I believe it's running Windows 7 as well, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm happy with this. So this is the PowerMac G5, and you can see we're in the kitchen now because the lighting in my room is actually really bad now. And so yeah, that's why we're here. So if I open this up, you can see, I'm going to set that down here. On the spec sheet, it is a, if that'll focus, it's a dual 1.8 gigahertz G5 with an FX or GeForce 5200 video card. 2 gigs of RAM and 2 80 gig drives in RAID 1 because this used to be a server. It's also running 10.5.8. There's really not a lot to say about this machine because it's a really typical G5. So you can see here we have my desk set up, and that's because I don't have the particular system I'm going to be talking about just yet. But there's not very much to say on this one at all because I already said it in my previous video. That's right. I am getting the MacBook Air, the liquid damaged MacBook Air we looked at in the last video. So the people decided they wanted to recycle it, and so my boss just said I could have it, and so I'm going to be salvaging parts from it. I might send it to one of my friends, but we'll have to see about that because shipping to the UK is a pain. Yeah, so anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. You know who you are, Mr. Friend, who I just talked about. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So is there anything else I want to talk about? I mean, I got some network switches and cables from my boss, but that was 6 months ago, so that's not important. I'm very thankful for the cables, though, because they come in handy pretty much every time I have a project that I'm working on. Anyway, with that said, it's actually going to be the end of the video. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.